Hi, Doug. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. You can hear me all right.
I'm great, great, great. Oh, you're perfect. You're perfect. Yeah.
Cool. So I've
How's?
got the old school headphones. Like it's analog.
Oh,
It's like
oh,
it's like a I'm bringing old school back. It's like hipsters are gonna be all over the wide like headphones soon, man. It's like the vinyl of headphones.
well. Let's look at it this way. They work. That's the most important thing.
Well, yeah. Let's see. Jeez, don't let me down, old school.
So to everyone joining, I see quite a lot of people are joining. Everyone is coming
Cool.
in. Welcome to season two of United in Creativity by SA Creatives. I mean, season two is going to be a bit different from season one. Season one, we had just agency leaders that we are chatting to from different agencies around town. Season two, it's going to be more of a mix from leading CMOs, like Doug today, who's a well-respected and accomplished CMO, and heads of organizations. Next week, we're talking to Lucille from SA Fashion Week, who heads up SA Fashion Week, which is
Wow.
also going to be a really cool conversation. And still with agency leaders. And as you know, it's all about uplifting South Africa, in the state that we're in, so we're going to be chatting about different people's histories, where they come from, where they're going. And, each one of us hopefully will just pick up something, for our careers, for our businesses, whatever the case might be. So without further ado, Doug, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate your time
Yeah, sure.
tonight.
God, thank me at the end. People might fall asleep very quickly. So let's see how it goes.
Let's get into it. Now, an hour flies on this show. You'll see that, all
Cool.
right, once we get into it. And so, firstly, before we start, I mean, well done on the new addition to the family. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
that's always a cool thing. I've got three babies, and one's 9, one's 7, and one's 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks.
Oh wow,
So
oh wow.
I normally don't sleep anyway. Now I just have a reason. So good.
Sure. No, cool, cool. So, who is Doug? I mean, tell us about yourself. I mean, where did you grow up? Where did you go to school?
Yeah, sure. I'll start with most people sort of ask questions. This is where did you get the accent from? Are you English? Are you South African? I'm a born and bred Joburger.
Right.
Bo- yeah, born and bred. Went to school here. Went to university here in Joburg, South Africa. I went to Wits University. I did a couple of things there, but mostly I did a marketing degree, which I followed
Yeah,
through the postgrad. And at the time I graduated, like the internet was starting to become a bit of a thing.
yeah,
And I'd done a postgrad dissertation in like CRM and database marketing, which is what we called big
yeah.
data before we called it big data. And
Yeah,
and so this was early 2000s. So this, like Facebook's still 10 years away, right?
yeah,
And sort of social media. And I had an opportunity to work in a bank who specialized in data-driven consumer solutions. It's a bank called Capital One, which is an American bank, and they have a pretty sizable presence in Europe. And they'd had a very fragile alliance here with Nedbank locally in South Africa. But by the time I'd actually finally finished my studies, that alliance had fallen through. So they asked if I
yeah.
would, if I'd be interested in applying for a graduate role in a UK office. So I went to UK like a lot of kind of white South Africans when they finished some kind of institutional learning. Often they go do cool things
Right.
like pull pints in pubs and do other pretty fun things. I bashed spreadsheets in a bank for a couple of years. So this was the early 2000s. It was like mid 2005, 2006. I was there for 2 years, and I learned two
Yeah.
things. I learned this accent, and it's worse when I'm around English people.
Oh
But
wow.
I'm still a Sapper. I know all the words to the national anthem. I promise.
Oh
Not just the
really?
second
That's
half,
cool.
like my tribe are famous for. But so that was the first thing, and the second thing, which I was in hindsight, I was really lucky to kind of be a witness to was in the early days of the financial Armageddon. It was this, the subprime credit crunch thing, because I was in a bank. We started to see that stuff come through. So this is my first job, man. Like, I barely know how to like tie my shoelaces. I can write exams, but I can't sell stuff. Like, that's a big difference between formal education and actual employment. And so I had this front row seat to just how grim an economic situation can be in a country that wasn't, that's not necessarily of my own. But I came back to South Africa after that with two resolutions, one of which is to get married. My beautiful wife and mother to my three kids was finishing her studies in South Africa. So we were apart for a couple of years. And secondly, so that's a good reason. And second, it's like, banking's not for me, man.
that's the best reason, man. She might be listening. Sure. That's the only reason.
Yes, I hope so, because that's National Prize could do with a little bit of TLC at the moment. So I came back to South Africa and joined what I'd actually studied to do, which was marketing and classic marketing. So I got involved in fast-moving consumer goods. At the time, it was Cadbury. And I had a brilliant time there, and a lot of my formative learning in and around the marketing function I learned from the leadership there, many of whom I steal their gold all the time and pretend that it's mine. So, and they're all old now, so they're not on Instagram, so they don't know I'm taking credit. Except for Baba Mkhwanazi, he's quite clever. He's at Google now, so maybe he's paying attention. He can pull me right.
Okay, no, cool. Yeah. I mean, you come from London, back to South Africa. You leave the tube, and a large financial, center, and you come back to South Africa, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people wouldn't do that. I mean, why?
Mostly a girl. As I said. And I'm really lucky because my job takes me now to all sorts of interesting places, from sort of Karachi to Bulawayo, and there's no place like Mzansi, really, man. There's something intrinsically really special here. Like a lot of countries have difficult pasts, and we have a very difficult and very recently difficult past. But we're intrinsically, I think, creative country. And we don't take the path that a lot of other countries or communities have taken towards resolution. Now, that means, on the one hand, progress is often slower than it should be, and something should be better, and it should be better now. But by the same token, we're not impulsive and prone to making things worse. So to do marketing, which I really love as a discipline, man, I can't think of a better place than South Africa. I love it.
Yeah. And so what attracted you to marketing? I mean, you came from finance, bank, now finance.
I was never really attracted to banking, if I'm honest. Like, I think they hired me by accident. I'm pretty sure that's the case. What I really like, and we'll talk about art and science at some point, I think marketing, when it's done best, is a very effective multidisciplinary profession. And I'm a fairly creative guy. I love creativity, and I enjoy the arts. I played in a band for many years. I ran a photography studio for a while. Now, if I did those things full time, I'd be thin, and I wouldn't have electricity, and my children would be a lot hungrier than they are. So to do that full time, I think will be really difficult. But by the same token, to kind of do to be a stockbroker or to work in finance, there's not enough of the classic creativity, I suppose, associated with those disciplines. So marketing allows me to do a bit of both. There's enough structure in terms of the business cycle, but there's also enough freedom. And what's unique, I think, in marketing in South Africa is, certainly in the likes of Europe and to some degree the US as well, a lot of the paths towards CEOs or business leaders is via marketing, which, like, when you talk to South African people, like, what the hell are you talking about? No, you don't have to be a CFO or a COO in order to kind of run a business. And because marketing by its nature is a discipline which looks forward, whereas, finance, the way the financial, structures work is it reports on what has happened. Now, that gives you clues for what's coming forward. But
Yeah.
essentially it's a retrospective discipline, and the ops function is a today discipline. How do we make things work
Yeah.
today? Whereas marketing allows you to join all of those dots and look forward. So I really like that. And when it's done well, you can really build tremendous social value, tremendous kind of economic value, and you facilitate this exchange, which I don't know when like if it works well, and often it doesn't. Like you can tangibly move things forward, people forward, economies forward, societies forward. And so when we talk about things like COVID-19 and all the things that are happening at the moment, the creative potential for marketers is unprecedented. The problem with taking over a brand in a time where it's all gone very well is people are too afraid to change anything, because you don't want to you don't be the guy that broke it. So where now everything's broken. It's brilliant. You can actually stitch things together and go forward.
Yeah. That's profound. I've never heard anyone describe
no one said that before.
But how you describe CFO and CMO is truly profound. I've never heard it explained like that before, and there's no greater truth to it. And so if a CMO is forward looking and the CFO is kind of backwards looking, then what's the CEO doing? In your view?
Signing lease forms. Yeah. Look, I'm really lucky, man. I have 4 CEOs that I kind of report into, if you like. So I have my direct boss, Jeff White, who was a marketing director, which is brilliant. I mean, it's a lot of what I've learned I've picked up from him. I mean, he's definitely one of the people I steal from all the time. So that definitely helps. And he's a multi-region CEO, and the same way I look after a lot of territories for Nando's. But the South Africa, the home of Nando's, is my Kathy also. And I replaced him when I joined Nando's, so he was the Nando's marketing director as well. And that's a kind of huge benefit. Samir, who heads up our growing business in India, is also was a marketing director at McDonald's in India at the time. So, and I think that's a testimony to why I really love Nando's. Is it's a brand and people first business. Now, I don't want anyone to be confused. I'm not going to bag on and say that the CFOs are not important or operating. I mean, I could never do what they do, and it's like an orchestra. Every instrument has to play in tune for the band to make something worth listening to. But the CEO is I suppose the conductor. It's the person who can make sure all those things play into. There's no point having a strong marketing function if you can't run a restaurant well, or people don't cook the chicken properly. There's literally no point.
Yeah. So the CEO has to have eyes in front of his head and the back of his head.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want his job. No, man. I don't want his or her job ever.